Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Raveen, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ink Thoughts podcast. How are everyone doing? Yeah, it's been quite cold for the past few days in the UK. It's already July, it doesn't feel summer at all. But anyway, let's come back to today's topic. You are responsible for your own happiness. So, first thing first, what is happiness? Well, happiness is a state of mind, an emotion, and a choice. Have you ever heard of this phrase or sentence where people say you try to be happy first before you can feel happy instead of the other way around? So it's something we all seek, yet it can often seem elusive. Many of us fall into the trap of believing that external factors like success, wealth, relationships, or simply the approval of others are the keys to our happiness. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all of this don't contribute to being happy. It's just that they are probably not the keys to our happiness at the end of the day. So today, I want to challenge this notion and emphasize that true happiness comes from within and is ultimately our own responsibility. So let's try to understand about happiness a bit more. It's not just a fleeting emotion or a momentary feeling of joy. Happiness is a sustained sense of contentment, fulfillment, and well being. It encompasses positive emotions and satisfaction with life as a whole. It is about finding the meaning and purpose and living in alignment with our values. There was this research that has shown that while external circumstances definitely do impact our happiness, like I said earlier, however, they only account for about 10% of our overall happiness. Surprisingly, genetics account for about 50%, and the remaining 40% is up to our intentional activities and mindset. So, keyword here, mindset. So, this means that we actually have a significant amount of control over our own happiness. So, when we think about that, like, yeah, we have all the control. So, what are the myths around the external happiness? We often think that I'll be happy when I get that promotion, I'll be happy when I get that car, I'll happy when I get that job, I'll happy when I find my soulmate. But the truth is, these external factors and achievements provide only temporary boosts in happiness. Of course, they do provide happiness, but just for a period of time. It will not last for forever. Once the novelty wears off, we are back to our baseline level of happiness. Try to think about the time when you achieved something you thought would make you endlessly happy. How long did that feeling last? Days? Weeks? Or maybe a few months? This phenomenon is known as the hedonic treadmill, where we quickly return to a baseline level of happiness despite major positive and negative events. So, how do we take responsibility for our own happiness then? It all begins with a shift in mindset. We must recognize that happiness is an inside job. It requires self awareness, intentionality, and effort. Some of the practical steps that we could probably take are like self reflection, take time to think about it and to understand yourself, like what truly makes you happy, makes you feel the joy, and what activities, people, and experiences bring you joy. Reflect on your own values and passions and try to align them with your life. When everything is in alignment and everything is around things or people or experiences that you particularly enjoy, happiness comes easier than you think. Next thing, Practice gratitude. Focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Some people would suggest you to keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. Try to do that yourself. It actually makes you feel a lot more happier, no matter you do it at the start of your day or at the end of the day. Practice it for a period of time. You will see the difference, and after some time, this actually comes um, naturally to you. Like for me, even if I don't sit down and write about something that I'm particularly grateful for, it just comes naturally to my mind nowadays. Yeah. Next thing, be mindful. Practice mindfulness. Be present in the moment. Some of the things that you could probably try out are like meditation, which can not only calm you down but makes you more aware of your thoughts and emotions and fosters a sense of peace and contentment. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people. All this meaningful relationship will actually uplift and inspire you. Of course, the very important thing that many people have been emphasizing all these years or this while, which is self-care. Prioritize yourself, your physical, your emotional, and your mental well-being. Exercise regularly, eat healthily, get enough sleep, and take time for activities that rejuvenate you. You know what? Even by just maintaining a very healthy eating diet for a period of time, you actually feel the difference. All this very simple yet important thing that sometimes we even forgot to do to take care of ourselves are actually very easy in leading us to experience happiness itself. And next thing could be focusing on your personal growth, setting some goals for yourself. It doesn't have to be a very huge or massive goals. It can just be something small and you work towards that, learning something new, learning new skills, taking on some tiny challenges. It doesn't have to be big too. And achieving all these little but personal milestones contribute to a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. This actually makes people feel very good about themselves. And when you do it more often, these feelings and this so-called achievements will keep piling up, and the thing that you have always been feeling so good about yourself because you've always been achieving something even though it's small and you appreciated that act itself leads you to feeling happier too, and the happiness sustained for a, for a longer period of time too. Well, although there are all this that we can do to be responsible for our own happiness, but it doesn't mean that we have to ignore or suppress our negative emotions when we're dealing with obstacles in our life. Life will always have its ups and downs. We can't avoid it. And it's natural to experience sadness, frustration, or even disappointment in our life. And it is totally okay to feel that too. Allow yourself to feel that if you have to. The key is to develop the resilience and coping strategies while navigating these challenges. Some of the tips that you could consider doing are like, like I said earlier, accept it. Accept that you are having these feelings, these emotions as part of your life. Allow yourself to feel them without judgment. Because we all know that it is just temporary. It is not forever. Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I've learned from counseling is also to let myself sit with the emotions itself. In the past, I've always been, well, I wouldn't say exactly, wouldn't say it's toxic positivity exactly, but sometimes I do react immediately to my negative emotions in terms of like, nah, it's nothing. I I immediately replace them with a positive emotion. But the hard thing is I've never really let myself sit with it and process it for a bit before I move on. And so after some time, all these things actually piled up, and it takes me even longer to process it afterwards. So acceptance of your negative emotions are actually very important. Now, reach out to your friends, families, or if you need one, look for therapies for support. Build your support system. It is definitely very important. Some people might say, nah, talking about feelings wouldn't solve the problem. Yeah, true. Most of the time it wouldn't, but it provides you the relief and different perspectives at the end of the day. And when you are in a better mindset and clearer mindset, you know what to do. You know it better. You have a greater idea about it. So it still works at the end of the day, isn't it? And another thing would be healthy outlets of all these emotions. Some people might easily get into some not that healthy coping strategies. So try to be more self-aware of it and engage in activities that are healthy in terms of like okay, for example, some people might go into drinking, smoking, and stuff like this. But yeah, well, there are people that find relief in it, but at the end of the day, it is not healthy at all. Try to engage in other activities such as journaling, art, or physical exercise, which could bring you healthier benefits. And it helps you to process and release your negative emotions regardless, right? Choose something healthy. Well, ultimately, we have to understand that happiness is a choice. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, to cultivate gratitude, to nurture our relationships, and to pursue what truly matters to us. It's about taking responsibility for our own well being and recognizing that we have the power to shape our own happiness. As I wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your life. What can you do today to take responsibility for your own happiness? Comment down below to share with me. And remember, it's not about perfection, but progress. Small and consistent steps can lead to profound changes. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please subscribe and rate and leave a review for me. I can't wait to hear from you guys. And don't forget to share this podcast with anyone who you think might benefit from it too. Well, I guess that's the end of today's episode. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on Apple Podcast. If you are not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye bye.